Hello dear class 5 students. Welcome back to our science class. And today we will continue with part 2 for lesson 7, Natural Resources of the Earth. So you can all turn to page 59 to 73. Okay, 59 to 73. Now, let's recall what we have learned in our last class. We have learned about the importance of natural resources, right? We have also seen examples of natural resources of the earth, right? And today we are going to continue with studying the details about all these natural resources of the earth. So the first natural resources of the earth, that was about the rocks, we have completed, right? So today we will continue with the other natural resources. But before we start, we have this map in your science textbook, right? So students, these natural resources, we have two types, okay? We have two types, that is renewable and non-renewable resources. Now, when we say renewable natural resources means those which can be renewed, those which can be reproduced. Okay? Let's say, example, trees, we can reproduce, right? Now, what about the sun? Now, with each new day, we get sunlight, right? It does not get over. But students, what about these non-renewable resources? Now, what about all this fuel? What about petrol, diesel, oil, natural gas, and metals? As we can see, I have given examples here. So dear students, I want you all to write all these examples, okay, to list down. So here, on this left side, we have an example of the renewable resources, those which can be renewed. Even after we use up, it can be reproduced. And here, non-renewable means which cannot be renewed. Okay, that cannot be produced again. Once if it is used up, once it is over means over. So that is why students, we should not take granted with the natural resources. Our natural resources, they play a very important role in our life. We are dependent on it. But like we have said, there are many natural resources which are non-renewable, which cannot be reproduced. So we should use it wisely. Okay? And students, do you know that even the countries, okay, the countries who have a rich deposit of all these natural resources are considered to be strong and powerful country. Now we all love our country, India. And to make our India strong, powerful, we have to conserve and take care of our natural resources and use it wisely. So students, I am very sure you are now clear with the difference between the renewable resources and non-renewable resources. And after writing the definition, you can write any examples from here. Okay? So students, as we have completed discussion about rocks, today the second natural resources that we are going to study is minerals. Okay? So these minerals, as you can see, they are crystals. Okay? They look interesting, right? So they are crystals. And this mineral, they are natural resources, and they are made up of more than one elements. Okay? They are made up of more than one elements. You can see, students, here. You can see different shape, different size, different colors. Okay? So like I have said, they are made up of more than one element. Now when I say element, we have 118 elements, right? Known so far. So these minerals, they are formed of more than one elements. Now students, the rock forming minerals, okay? The rock forming minerals. Some rocks are formed from this mineral. An example are quartz, Q-U-A-R-T-Z, feldspar, okay, F-E-L-D-S-P-A-R, and mica, M-I-C-A. These are examples of the rock forming minerals. Okay, these are all chemical substance. Now students, have you heard about the ores? Okay, have you heard about the ores or not? So the metals, okay, the metals which are extracted from the minerals, okay? Now I have shown you the pictures of different minerals, right? So the metals which are extracted from the minerals are called ores. So that means we are going to obtain the metal from these minerals. So here we have gold. We all like gold, right? We have silver. Okay? So they are extracted from their ores. Okay? Now here we also see different types of iron, right? Cobalt, nickel. These are all obtained from their ore. Okay? So now I'm sure you are clear with ore. Okay? O-R-E, ore. Now students, metals. Now we know from where we get the metals, right? So these metals are very important. Now when we discuss about gold, from gold we get all these beautiful ornaments, jewelries here you can see, right? Now they are very important for the economy of our country as well. Now, I'm sure we are all familiar with these utensils. Every day we see this in kitchen. We use this in kitchen. So from where do we get this? These are all made from metals, right? And now we know from where we get the metals. So these are all the products of the natural resources of the earth. Now students, these are all machine equipments, right? Here in these two pictures. Now to run, we are all dependent on machine. We have different types of machine. So all these machines are made up of these metals, right? And students, what about this coin? We have a 1 rupee coin, we have a 2 rupee coin, we have a 5 rupee coin. So these are all made up from metals. And we all know from where do we get metals. So students, the second natural resources of the earth, minerals, I'm sure now we are clear. So moving on to our third natural resources of the earth, it is water resources. Now, in the previous chapter, in other chapter, or in your lower classes, we have discussed about the earth, right? Earth. So students, earth, do you know 71% of our earth is composed of waters? And waters you can see here. We can see here the different water resources. right? So I've written the names over here as well. We have ponds, streams, lakes, oceans, rivers. They're all source of waters. So do you know how water is important, right? Our earth, as we have shown in our last chapters, it is very big, right? So 71% of our earth's surface is composed of water. And now students, do you know where we'll find more water, like under the ground or above the surface? So more percent of our fresh water will find inside the ground than the water we get uh, in the liquid form in the earth in above the earth, above the surface. Okay? Now students, see, water is very important for our health, for survival, for normal functioning of our body. And plants, we are dependent on plants, right? For food, for clothes, for medicines, we are dependent on plants. And plants needs water, right? So see how we are all correlated. So we have seen the importance of water resources, and also we have discussed how many percent of water is composed in our earth, right? So moving on to our fourth natural resources of the earth, it is the flora and fauna. Okay? So you can see here, in one part of the picture we have plants, right? And in the other parts we have animals, right students? So students, when I say flora, Flora, we are referring it to plants. Okay? Plants. And when I say fauna, Fauna, we are referring it to the animals. Okay? So now we will discuss about this flora and fauna in details. So flora, when we say flora, flora refers to plants, and flora means the place, okay? The place where the plants grow naturally, okay? The place where the plants grow naturally. Now, when we say fauna, it is to do with animals, okay? Where they live, where they grow. So students, now, plants and animal are very important part of our life, right? We are dependent on their products. But the sad thing, do you know the sad thing? Now, every day in news, we are hearing the news of depletion of flora and fauna. And that's a sad thing, right? Depletion of flora and fauna. Now we can see every day people cutting down the trees. Do you see that? Now we can also see people hunting, poaching for wild animals, right? So students, like every day we hear in the news that there's a depletion of flora and fauna. So students, it is our duty, it is your duty, and it is my duty to protect our flora and fauna. Now some examples here we can see cutting down of trees. We can see deforestation, right? Deforestation. Now, it can also be because of overgrazing. overgrazing. Okay? So students, the important thing is, yes, we are dependent on them and we need them for our use, but we should always use wisely. Okay? We should not be greedy. So students, these days, we have many numbers increasing of these national parks, of these wildlife sanctuaries, and biosphere reserve. Okay? Even in our country, the number of the national parks, the biosphere reserve, and the wildlife sanctuaries are increasing. And that's a good thing for the flora and fauna. Now students, do you know what is a national park and what is this wildlife sanctuaries and biosphere reserve? So these are the protected areas. This is a protected areas where animals are kept, where hunting is not possible, where poaching of wild animals is not allowed. Okay? Where this is a restricted place. Now these are maintained properly and strict rules are followed. And in this place, here we see a balance, a healthy balance between the plants and animals. And all the animals are reserved, are protected. The plants are protected because hunting, cutting down, and deforestation are not allowed in these places. So you know what exactly now is a national park, wildlife sanctuaries, and biosphere reserve. These are protected areas, restricted areas. Now I'm showing you this picture again to have a look because this is a very serious issue. Okay? This is a very serious issue. Now students, like I have said, even in our country and even in our own state Nagaland, the national park and the wildlife sanctuaries are increasing. So that's a very good thing. So today, in this chapter, we are going to see the importance, though we have lots, but we are going to see some national parks, some wildlife sanctuaries in our country as well in our own state, Nagaland. So are you all ready? Okay. So the first national park that we'll see is Ranthambore National Park. Ranthambore National Park. Now see, it's a long name, but it's interesting, right? Ranthambore, Ranthambore National Park. It is a beautiful place, a tourist attraction place. We'll find all different types of animal here. And do you know where in India we'll find this Ranthambore National Park? Write it down. In a beautiful state, Rajasthan. Okay? Rajasthan. Now students, today I've shown you this national park, that is Ranthambore. We have more to discuss. Okay? In the next class, I'll show you another national park, a very beautiful national park. And also in the next class is going to be very interesting because we are going to discuss about the national park, the wildlife sanctuaries in our own state, Nagaland. So thank you so much. See you in our next class.